Welcome to the Official Personality Guru. While focusing on our weaknesses isn't the most enjoyable experience, it is still an important step in learning how to grow and move forward. We need to take the time to learn more about our strengths and weaknesses to understand ourselves and our needs much better. When it comes to learning the shortcomings we possess, the process can be an uncomfortable one, but can also help us learn why we feel so challenged in certain environments. Sometimes, this helps people learn the best ways to change and grow. But other times, it helps us to see which areas in life we need to avoid to feel more confident in our abilities. Today, let's talk about INTPs' weaknesses, flaws, and shortcomings, where the INTPs feel challenged. Before we start, make sure to subscribe to the Official Personality Guru and ring the bell icon to get regular updates on our latest uploads. And if you like this video, click the thumbs up button and share it with your friends. When it comes to seeing their weaknesses, the INTP can struggle at times, since self-reflection can be a confusing process for them. They need to take the time to dive into their own inner needs and feelings. Even though this can be difficult for them at times, they do sometimes analyze their own mistakes to a degree where they can be hard on themselves, but don't necessarily see the actual weaknesses they might possess. They can judge themselves worse than they should, but self-reflection isn't as simple for the INTP as they might think it is. Dealing with emotions. When it comes to logic and facts, the INTP excels, but when it comes to emotions, they often struggle. They find themselves struggling to focus on their feelings or the feelings of those around them. When someone the INTP loves is upset, they often try to find logical answers and reasons for this. Instead of accepting those feelings, they want to solve them and figure out the best way to improve the situation. INTPs can become uneasy with obvious emotional expressions since they don't naturally know how to respond or handle them. One of the biggest weaknesses of the INTP is emotions, both their own emotions and the emotions of others. They often want to understand themselves better, but when they start to dive into these feelings, they might find themselves becoming more confused and anxious. For the INTP, this is a long process that takes time to uncover. As long as they are willing to take the time, they can certainly learn more about themselves and their own needs. This isn't because the INTPs does not care or does not feel emotions the same as others. They just don't necessarily know how to process them easily. They try to find ways to use logic since this makes more sense for them and can be proven. When things don't have answers they can uncover, the INTP can feel challenged with how to handle them. When someone is emotional, this doesn't always have reasonable solutions or clear explanations, and so they don't know how to trust this. They trust in reason and their logical minds, and so emotions are a bit foreign to the INTP. While they feel things deeply, they often try to bury those emotions inside or find ways to make logical sense of them instead of just allowing themselves to feel what they are feeling. Insensitivity. INTPs can get into trouble because they tend to prioritize the activity taking place in their minds over the needs of others. They comfortably inhabit the realm of their imaginations, and this can bring certain problems. Not least that INTPs get so caught up in their theories and abstractions that they forget any kind of emotional consideration. Their focus on ideas and logic and neglect of personal considerations can easily offend. Sticking to a schedule. INTPs can struggle when it comes to sticking to a strict schedule and don't like having to follow the rules and expectations of others. They find themselves drawn in different directions, and their minds can become so caught up that they lose track of time. For the INTP, having to follow a schedule just isn't natural and can be something that challenges them in the workplace at times. They might try to implement new ways of fixing this shortcoming, but ultimately it isn't natural or easy for the INTP. They prefer to focus on whatever is inspiring them and entertaining their thoughts, rather than having to follow a schedule and keep up with it. When they know they have to be somewhere at a specific time, the INTP might find it challenging to really. They aren't trying to be inconsiderate of others. The INTP simply doesn't find it easy or natural to keep track of time or a strict schedule. Condescension. A significant weakness of the INTP is the tendency to be condescending and critical. either of their opponents or those who simply don't catch on as quickly as they do. Their constant pursuit of truth and objectivity, though admirable, can also provoke brutality and impatience as they drive home their perspective. This can be especially toxic in relationships in which logic simply does not always reign supreme. Easily distracted. INTPs can be easily distracted when something new draws in their thoughts and attention. They become bored with monotonous tasks or simply dealing with something which doesn't positively challenge their minds. When they find themselves becoming bored with something, the INTP can be easily distracted by something new. They want to be free to explore different ideas and paths, and so this certainly causes the INTP to go off in different directions. When something sparks their attention, they find it challenging to remain focused on what is in front of them, and so they can certainly be seen bouncing from one thing to the next. This is something that can pose a challenge when the INTP needs to remain focused on the task at hand. They might not be great at finishing certain projects because they find themselves bored with them once they have figured out the challenging parts of the information. They don't find it easy to remain on one thing for a long time and just want to feel free to explore and learn about something different and inspiring. Absent-mindedness. INTPs aren't labeled absent-minded professors for no reason. At their worst, they tend to be scattered and disorganized, intellectual and high-minded. They get caught up in their brains and fail to deal with the low-level tedium of the here and now, such as bills or deadlines. They may fail to conform to even the basic expectations of daily life in society. Analytical brilliance. Beneath the quiet surface sits an intellectual prowess which INTPs bring to any environment in which they find themselves. They're fast thinkers and highly logical. Others may not know it since much happens inside the INTP's own head. Yet, this type excels in analyzing connections between seemingly random pieces of information and finding flawless explanations to problems that disorient most other personality types. Objective. INTPs are respected for their relentless pursuit of truth, objectivity, and understanding. They make this the goal of their lives and channel their energy into rooting out errors and eliminating inconsistencies. They do this not only for their own personal enjoyment, but because they see it as their main contribution to the world in whatever field they may find themselves. How about you? As an INTP, what are your weaknesses and flaws? Be sure to watch until the end and share your experience for a chance to have your comment pinned. Enthusiastic. To others, the INTP may come across as private and withdrawn, but when a topic piques their interest, INTPs can be very enthusiastic, excited even, about discussing it. This excitement makes them fun to be around. In the right company, the INTPs are keen to express their imaginative sense of humor and enjoy being playful with people who they can trust. Before we continue, if you enjoyed the video, make sure to give us a like and share it with your friends. Subscribe to the Official Personality Guru for more amazing videos. Don't forget to ring the bell icon to stay updated with our content. Can be suspicious of others. INTPs can be somewhat suspicious people, and this can pose a challenge when it comes to friendships and romantic relationships. They find themselves doubting the intentions of those around them and might even find ways of testing them because of this. When the INTP is suspicious of someone's intentions, this can come from their lack of emotional understanding. They might feel like someone's emotional expressions aren't all that sincere, since they can't easily find proof of these things. This can certainly be something that makes connecting with others a bit challenging for the INTP. They need to learn to take a step back and give themselves the chance to open up a bit more with people they care for.